This is the voice of the Report of the Week, signing on. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone listening and watching. This is VORW, the voice of the Report of the Week, and we are presently broadcasting live via YouTube, and this is the international service of the Report of the Week's channel, VORW, the voice of the Report of the Week, available wherever an internet connection does exist. I suppose wherever YouTube is accessible, which is via an internet connection, so there you go. It's a new show. It is pretty new. Brand new, I guess. Because it depends on when we listen to this one, but it's a Friday. Friday the... what is it now? The 11th of December, 2015. Yeah, Friday the 11th of December, 2015. Okay. Getting there, almost halfway through the month. Almost. Not quite yet, but almost. It's going by. Gone by. We can talk about time every single show, because now this show is usually a weekly program. Once or 1.5 weeks or so, you get a new VORW. And, time does go by. Time does go by. But that said, I guess that's what time is supposed to do, Time is supposed to go by. Funny the recollections we all do have, though. I myself could remember when I was just but a child. In some cases so vividly, yet it's so long ago. It's something. I think it's something neat, though, you can remember all this stuff. I remember things from now almost 16 years ago, and of course, I was a youngin', but I was alive and old enough to remember things. And, I remember that. And of course, it does seem like it was a while ago, but you think, almost 16 years ago. Thinking back to 2000, 99. I think, wow, it was 16 years ago. Wow. I think it's just something, When you think back and you remember these things, and it doesn't seem that long, but, one day if we're still around, you'd be looking back at 2015, and that'll be 16 years ago one day. You'll be saying, my God, where did the time go, I remember 2015 like it was yesterday. Anyways, I digress, but that's what the whole show is. It's a digression, I guess. So, we're here. It's a Friday. Hope your week is good. It's over no matter what. This is going to be uploaded Friday. So this is being recorded on Friday the 11th? I think so. Friday the 11th. And it's going to be uploaded Friday the 11th too. So you're getting a new show done in one take, one sitting. And hope you enjoy it. Hope you enjoy it. I was worried with the last show that people were going to not be too fond of the time of it, but people liked it. I realize now, and no offense, but this is just how a lot of people on YouTube are. Myself is no exception. Some people will watch a YouTube video for literally the first minute, and that's it. They're done with it. And I was worried that'd be the same for like VORW, but I've realized now that VORW, everyone who watches it for the most part watches and listens to it in its entirety. The people who listen to VORW really don't have too short attention spans and are able to really focus in on that. It's just something I noticed. So I was worried for a little while that, time was going to be an issue, that people were going to say, this is too long, Yeah, someone did comment that it was too long, but I kind of shot back. But everyone else seemed to be a fan of it. I know a lot of people like to listen to the VORW shows at work or when they're commuting to and from school or the office. If they're just traveling in general. I guess it's a good little kind of voice to keep them company. So I don't think time is really too much of an issue. So now my policy is just talk for as long as needed. And that's it. Talk for as long as needed. Don't try to, beat the clock or let the minute hand run your life. Just talk as long as you need, and that's it. Don't rush it. You know, I mean, I got a few extra letters to read for this program, and that's no problem at all for me. None at all. Yeah. Anyways, hope you had a good Friday. My Friday was good so far. Don't really have much to talk about in regards to my day today. Yeah, no, I don't. It's 1:30 p.m., 1:29, soon to be 1:30 p.m., so it's in the afternoon. Haven't had anything to eat yet, but I'm gonna have some burgers. From where you might inquire, I'm just gonna have them here and just kind of make my own on the grill. And I guess have I don't know, Review Braw's own brand burgers. But it's a good enough meal. Whenever I have a hamburger, I like to put some ketchup on it. And you might not like this, but I do. And probably people think I extensively smoke cigarettes because of this, though I don't. I like to put a lot of salt on my meat. I do. I like to salt it up good, especially a burger, any burger from any place. Always put the salt on. I know some people don't like that, but I just think that, when you put salt on it, especially on the beef, it just amplifies the flavor a little bit. That extra saltiness kind of just does something for me. So I'm given the choice, to have kind of creative control over a meal. I'll do that. I never do that on a review, really, though, because that's altering the original product. So I don't do that. Okay. Nonetheless, that's what we got going. I figure in due time soon I'm going to be getting some water for myself. I am going to get some water. I'm yawning a little bit. I mean, I got sleep. I got some sleep. Let me think how much I got. Yeah, about 4.5 hours of sleep, but nonetheless, sleep is sleep, I guess. Yesterday, I got 8 hours total. I got around 4 hours again at night, and then I took a nap from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m., and I took another 4 hours. Now, who knows? Maybe when I'm done with this, maybe I'll take a nap, or maybe I'll just eat, and then sleep, and then listen to shortwave. Who knows? Who knows? You make up the schedule as you go along. That's how you live. Nonetheless, here we are now, and right now we're doing VORW. But yeah, hope the week was good for you. If it wasn't a good week, which I understand, not everyone has a good week, and sometimes myself included, we have several bad weeks, even, consecutively. But hey, don't worry. It'll get better. It will. It'll get better. Whatever's bothering you, whatever the problems are, we'll get it over with. And things will get better. They will. The holidays coming up. Got Christmas coming up, and if nothing else, look forward to that time you're going to be getting off at least, No matter what. You'll get some time off from wherever your school might be, your college, your work. If you're off already, you'll be able to just kick back, sit back, relax. Just whatever we got going, got something to look forward to. Do I have really anything to talk about today? Nothing specific, some channel-centric discussion, of course, but other than that, not really. No, not really. Just some channel-centric discussion, and of course, plenty of tangents, I believe, that the fan mail always brings about. Before anything else, though, let's get a glass of water, and let's do that. Filling it up. I might do a review tonight, by the way. I don't know if this will probably get up before it. You might be getting a review tonight. I'm telling you that right now, and it's going to be an interesting one. Going to be an energy crisis, but it's going to be an interesting one. And I know the energy crisis reviews are oftentimes the least popular. And I understand. Because not everyone drinks energy drinks. Running on Empty series is by far the most popular series of the channel. And probably VORW has the most significant following. In that, I mean, the people who listen, are probably the most supportive and such. You could say, I guess, the biggest fans, unquote, listen to VORW. But Energy Crisis is the staple of the channel, and it's always going to be there, but it's kind of the least popular, Because it's selective. Not everyone drinks their energy drinks. In fact, most people don't. So it just targets that group of people who do drink energy drinks, and the people who just want to watch a video of mine. And that's really it. But, if you're just looking for informative stuff, no reason to watch it. But this is going to be an interesting one. It is. Because you're listening to VORW, and you're already 11 minutes in, you'll get a little spoiler here. We're going to be reviewing an energy product that is literally the first of its kind on Earth. And this is the first batch of said product. And it's not a little, rinky-dink product. Because it's been up for 3 weeks, and has already had about 25,000 requests for people who wish to attain this product. And I will be reviewing batch number 1 of it for the most part. This is called Power Energy Toothpaste. That's right. It's a toothpaste that apparently has caffeine and other ingredients in it. Their motto is, get a rush while you brush. Therefore, what this is supposed to be is it's a genuine, legitimate toothpaste. And as you brush your teeth, apparently has some caffeine and other additives to it. It'll permeate through your gums and, perhaps through your tongue. And I doubt you'd really swallow too much. But it'll permeate into you through that, and it'll apparently have the effects of an energy drink. But you get it while you're brushing your teeth. I've received samples of it. It comes in small little tubes. Just about an ounce worth. But I got 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 5 tubes. So one of them is going to be reviewed. And I got my own little Power toothbrush too. That's Power Energy Toothpaste. I love their slogan. It's called Get a Rush While You Brush. I think tonight's going to be a good night to review that. So that's what I'm going to do. And it's going to be an interesting filmed review. It's going to start out in the reviewing edifice, and all in one take, of course. I'm going to move myself and the camera into the kitchen here, and I'm going to complete the review over the kitchen sink, and brushing my teeth. I'm going to brush my teeth on camera. That's how I'm going to review it. Doesn't matter what it looks like, or what people say about it. What you got to do to review it. And you better believe I'm going to review it. I'm going to brush my teeth on the camera, wash my mouth out, let you know how it tastes, and all. Use your special little toothbrush. And, of course, while I'm, washing my mouth out, rinsing it, I guess, with mouthwash or water, such. Of course, I'm going to turn away from the camera and spit in the sink to maintain my dignity. But still, you're gonna be interesting. I'll be sitting on this footstool here, and it'll be an interesting little change in scenery for sure. Or maybe I'll start it out by the kitchen sink. Then I have to worry about a big move, because then you have to worry, what if I'm not in focus anymore, and all that. So I can present its own variety of issues there. But that's an interesting little thing there. So, anyways. That's what we got for you tonight. Hope you enjoy it. Probably going to be shirt and tying it up for that one. I'm wearing a shirt and tie now, but I think I want to change it. I think I want to switch to a gray shirt. Right now I'm wearing a white dress shirt and some tan dress pants. Pleated, creased, and cuffed, of course. I got the tie going. But I think I'm going to switch to a gray shirt. I'm going to keep the tie and I'm going to switch to black pants. I think I'm going to do that. I'm not going to wear a suit jacket simply because, I just worry in case any water or toothpaste or whatever gets a little messy. I'd rather it get on the dress shirt, which I can just throw into the washing machine and get taken out, rather than to have to worry about getting it on a suit jacket and then having to go through the whole process of dry cleaning and, of course, paying some extra money for that. And, we're not all made of money. But, it's a necessary expense, of course, but, one that can oftentimes be avoided. Anyway. What else do we have to talk about? Anything else? Anything else? No, not really. Let's check the fast food news sites and let's see if there's anything that's out that's new that we can review. Fastfoodwatch.com. Let's see what they have to say. No, Papa John's. That's just a deal. Krispy Kreme is just a deal. And Krispy Kreme, there aren't any donuts or any stores nearby, really. Taco Bell Boss Nachos, done. Wendy's Gouda Bacon Burger, done. Okay, Fast Food Watch. Let's go to Grubgrade. See what they have to say. New candy cane shake from Wiener Schnitzel. I don't even know where that is from. Can't do that. Steakhouse Thick Burger. Wish I could review that. Looks like a solid, thick burger, I guess you'd describe it as. Unfortunately, there aren't really any Carl's Jr. or Hardee's nearby either. Tabasco Tendies reviewed. The new Zinger sandwich from KFC. I looked for that the other day, but didn't see it. I think it's just. I know it's from Canada. But, said someone in northern Kentucky saw it. I'm guessing it was just a release, just in a special area, just kind of testing it out. Holiday Spice Flat White from Starbucks. Can review that, but we've already done enough Starbucks. I'm kind of trying to give it a little break for now, but... Alright, that can be done. And then Brand Eating. Bacon fondue fries. I guess I could do that at some point. A new mini snowman donut from Starbucks. I can do that too. Okay. And this one, that's coming up next week. I'm keeping that a secret, but that one you can guarantee it's a secret. It looks unconventional, and we'll find out how it is, but that's a secret. But you'll get that next week. We'll just review what comes along. That's all. Review what comes along. Okay. Let's do the channel recap. Let's see what videos we've uploaded since the last VORW. Let's see. Oh, actually, yeah. Yeah, I'll talk about it after the fact, after we talk about the videos we've uploaded and everything about them, the little kind of behind the scenes, the ins and outs of all that. Video Manager. VORW 106. Okay. Energy Crisis, review number 137, V8 V Fusion. It was an okay drink, but the texture was a little weird, and had a little surprise in that with the telephone. After that, Hostess Peppermint Ho-Hos, running on empty review. Finally was able to fit running on empty in the title without it being too long. And, you know, it was, you know, it was okay, you know, good enough. Good enough. After that was the Taco Bell Boss Nachos, which nothing boss about them at all. Massive portion size, such a waste of food. I mean, it's such an incredible waste of food. Not good remotely. They give you this massive portion, and it's just such a disappointment. It really is. Such a disappointment. That was just disappointing. The Taco Bell itself was actually playing some good music, I can tell you that. They're playing some, I mean, you don't really expect to hear this music in a Taco Bell, but they're playing some big band music. And then after that, they're playing some classical piece. And it was a very odd variety that they're playing in a Taco Bell, but, you know, otherwise it was, disappointing. That's an understatement. Just disgusting. The one good thing about that Taco Bell was the fact that they actually still had, and I didn't even know they still had these. They had those, the loaded grillers. They still had them there. They're not even on the website anymore. There's an individual side inside this establishment advertising these loaded grillers. And I even pointed. I said, "You guys still have those?" I said, "Yep." I said, "All right, I'll take 2 of the ghost pepper ones then." I was able to actually enjoy those instead of those nachos. I had a feeling. Just a feeling that the nachos weren't going to be good. So I figured, you know, my logic was, you know, I'm not going to go all the way to Taco Bell to get some piece of garbage that's going to be awful. I want to at least make my visit somewhat worthwhile. To say, you know, yeah, I went here, I got a piece of trash, but I still got this food out of it that I like. So I did that. I was able to enjoy those. So in the end, it was still kind of worth it, at least. It wasn't a total waste. And then yesterday, KFC's popcorn chicken, not like it used to be. That was almost like a video form of a VORW there. It wasn't a review. People were asking for, you know, the numerical rating. A couple people did. But I was just saying, you know, just not what it used to be. And it's not a review. So that's the gist of that. You know, just the fact that it's, number one, it's not what it used to be. Just wanted to kind of talk about, you know, my old experiences with it. And, you know, it wasn't a review. It was just me kind of talking about it. But if I had to give a numerical rating, it wouldn't be the best. Probably, maybe upper 5s, lower 5s even. I mean, a 3 is too low. I might say maybe a 5.2 out of 10, but that's an official rating. It's not official. Anyways, that's what we got there. I was gonna jump to fan mail, and we'll be doing that next, but something I remembered that I'll talk about now. It is for sure around the holiday season now. It's getting closer and closer with every day. Temperatures are still pretty warm, but you know, it's definitely getting closer. One thing that I always like are Christmas trees. And I know some people now are getting all up in arms about the name for Christmas trees. Oh, because it says Christmas, you know. It's a travesty. But I will be calling them by their historically correct name, i.e. a Christmas tree. And, you know, just one thing I always like about the holiday season is a Christmas tree. Not necessarily because it is the holiday season, because it's a seasonally appropriate thing. I figure you could have a Christmas tree any time of the year that you want. Of course, they do best in the holiday season, but, you know, any time of the year you want, theoretically. I just like Christmas trees. I think that they're very, very pretty things. I do. I went out to a little place selling Christmas trees last week and picked up one. They're just very, very pretty things. Anyway, the tree I'm looking at right now is just, you know, brilliant green. And all the nice little, you know, the little branches and little needles and everything. It just has a very nice little scent to it, almost in a fragrance, if you will. You know, and I like it. I do, but I think Christmas trees can be very pretty things. We strung some lights on it. I'm gonna decorate it further, but that's all I wanted to say. Cause we have one set up now, and I'm just looking at it, and I think it's just a tree worthy of admiration, in a way. Just what I think. But that's just what I wanted to briefly kind of touch upon, just Christmas trees, I know it can be a real pain, especially, this is a real one, you gotta take it, gotta have it in the stand, gotta water it, and such. I know it can be a pain. But, if you really want to just experience it, just go to a place where there's Christmas trees. I know a lot of gas stations sell them, even while you're just filling up the car, Take a walk over there, just, look at the trees. Don't even get one, just browse around, Smell one. It sounds weird, but, I think Christmas trees are very beautiful things. I do. But they're nice. They're nice things, very, very pretty little pieces of flora. Anyway, I figure that's all we got. Not going to be the longest show in the world. I figure it's going to probably... I figure, with tangents and everything, this show's probably going to take you maybe an hour and 15 minutes, around there. We'll see what happens in the end, but that's what I'm predicting. Therefore, I can say with certainty that the second half of our show begins right after the tone. This is VORW, the voice of the Report of the Week, our online YouTube service. Feel free to write to us. Send us your comments, your questions, your letters of support or criticism, anything on your mind. Feel free to share it with us. This begins the fan mail section, the mailbag program, where we read and respond to your letters. And if you'd like to contribute, please message us via YouTube. YouTube.com/user/Report of the Week. Click on the About tab, and then send a message. Type in the contents and send that message. Otherwise, feel free to contact us via other means, via our email addresses. repweekinterview1@gmail.com. That's repweekinterview1@gmail.com. That's the channel's main email. repweekinterview1@gmail.com. Or send it to vorwinfo@gmail.com. That's vorwinfo@gmail.com. So, one or the other. It'll get to me. repweekinterview1@gmail.com or vorwinfo@gmail.com. Anything you'd like to share, share it, please. And it'll give me something to talk about. So thank you in advance. The question for the last one was about Legos, of course. Did you play with the Legos? Did you like them and such? The question that we have for you this time around is an easy one. I'm just curious. It's like a, just a simpler little poll, if you will. I'm curious nonetheless. Since I was talking about Christmas trees, do you right now have a Christmas tree, or to be polite, we can say a holiday tree, set up in your residence? All right. That's all I'm wondering. Right now, as you're listening to this, do you have in your residence? Could be wherever you live. Could be your house, your apartment, your condo, wherever you are. Even if you're living out of a hotel room, whatever it might be. But as you're listening to this, do you have a Christmas tree, or to be correct, a holiday tree, as they say, set up right now where you live? Just curious if you do or don't. I am. It's a simple question, but if you want to elaborate further on yours, if you just want to talk, you can tell me what type of tree it is, if it's decorated or not, how, extravagant you decorate it, what type of decorations you put on it, if you put little lights or bows or little ornaments, if you put little candy canes on it, is it real fancy ornaments, whatever it might be. Well, my Christmas tree, while I'm going to be here in December, I'm not going to be here the whole month. I'm going to be going out of town for a while. Travel for the holidays a bit. The Christmas tree is going to be decorated with, of course, some lights, little strings of beads. Going to be strung with little glass balls. And then after that comes the general ornaments, just ornaments that are seen fit. So, pretty complete, Used to put bows on it, but then that became too much of a hassle. For a while, we put little candy canes on it. It was fun, for the time being. So I'm just curious. On to the fan mail now. As I promised in the last show, there were some letters I needed to get to in the VORW info box that really couldn't be tended to. And I apologize in advance, but I promised. I said, it's, we're going to get to those first in the next program. So that's what we're doing. Let me just look at the dates on these so we can organize and see who wrote what and what's to be read first. Let's see when the last show was published. It was published on December 3rd. Okay. Let's see. Alright, we'll start off with this one. Okay, we'll start off with this one here. And from there, we shall... Yeah, I'll go with this one first, and then after that. Okay. Let's do that. Hey, review, brah. In regards to your question in the last VORW, I enjoy music mostly from the 2000s and 2010s. My playlist consists of mostly EDM music, which is a stark contrast to what you listen to. I recently enjoyed watching the movie titled The Usual Suspects, which was pretty good. Not to give any big spoilers, but it stars Kevin Spacey as a criminal trying to convince the cops of a mysterious crime lord's existence. It was released in 1995, and I'd recommend it if you want a good thriller or mystery. Anyways, I couldn't think of a question, so I hope this email reaches you in good spirits. So indeed it has. I'm just checking the other inbox right now to make sure to get all this stuff organized here. Yeah, okay, that's fine. Thank you. Sounds like an alright movie. Let's see what else we got. Hey, review, bro. I'm writing you another email after listening to your most recent VORW about Thanksgiving. It was one of your best yet. 2 hours of pure greatness, and the last email about the guy who had to go into the witness protection was 10 out of 10. It's too bad that you broke your toe and didn't want to pay to get it checked. Here in Canada, you could have gotten that checked free of charge. But there aren't many In-N-Outs or Five Guys near where I live, so I guess that's a trade-off. Indeed, gotta have good burgers. So, we'll give up free healthcare for that. Anyways, I need to ask you a serious question. Sure, ask away. I'll be turning 16 soon, and I always thought at this time of my life it would be getting a lot better. There is a girl that goes to my high school, and I was wondering if you had any tips for building self-confidence to actually ask her out, because right now I think I have a higher chance of winning the lottery than asking her out. Thanks for all the great work that you do. Thank you very much. Thank you for your comments and compliments. And so, you're wondering how to build self-confidence. And I know I do have some tips and some advice. And I'll tell you what I do and how I'm able to just kind of go out dressed in a full-blown suit and tie everywhere when literally I'm the only person in the crowd wearing one for the most part. How I'm able to do that. And it's difficult. It is, especially, you know, especially given the age group, you know, you got to deal with. You know, I mean, I can tell if you're able to listen to a 2-hour long VORW show, chances are, at least, you know, mentally, you're a more mature person for your age, and take that as a compliment. But given the fact, a lot of people in that age group, you know, there's a time when I was, you know, 15, 16, and I had to deal with this crap too. You know, a lot of people in that age group aren't the most mature in the world. They aren't. They'll laugh at things which now you would find to be pure conjecture, just idiotic, outrageous in a way. And, my God, I can't believe I did that, you know. And sometimes it's looked back upon with contempt. Sometimes those times are looked upon with humor, and sometimes you say, "No, damn, I wish I was still 16," you know. Regardless, how do you build self-confidence? Well, here's what you have to do, and it's simple as it gets. Sounds simple, but it always comes down to the initiation. You just don't care, and that's it. You can't care. That's all you have to do. You just have to stop giving a crap about what other people might think of you, what, you know, how it might go if, you know, she says no, right? And just number one, and people kind of look upon this nowadays as a meme, if you will. I don't, and I stand by it, and, you know, hasn't really done anything bad for me. Simply be yourself. Yes, people look upon that, they say, just be yourself. And I kind of, you know, scoff at that advice. But simply put, if you are yourself, or I'm myself, I'm very vastly a different character from most in society, yet I'm still able to go out, I'm still able to function, still able to even succeed. Really just have to be yourself, but you have to own it. You have to be comfortable with who you are. You have to be comfortable with who you are. And, you know, even with that being said, you'll do fine. Now, when I get upon saying just don't care, that's all there is. Because I realized, and another person wrote in, maybe it was last show, maybe it was the show before that, they said, you know, chances are, you're going to be left with more things that you regret not doing than things that you regret doing. And looking upon your circumstance, I can see that right there. Right? Let's say you never asked her out, right? Might be a regret of yours. You might say, wow, you know, I actually could have, you know, perhaps had a chance. Or you might be just sitting there one night and you might be thinking, you know, I never even tried, so I didn't even know what could have possibly happened, even if I did ask her out. Yeah, she might have said no. You know, kind of made me feel a little down and dejected for a little bit, but I'd bounce back and recover. Or, you know, well, what if she said yes? You know? So, therefore, oftentimes you're just going to be left with more regrets of things that you didn't do than things that you did do. You got to go over the different situations, okay? Pretty much this is a very simple one. You ask her out, she says yes, well, you know, you have someone now. It's simple, done. You ask her out, she says no. Well, what can you do? You know, can't win them all, if you will. You can't. You just kind of shrug it off. Don't change who you are. You know, don't be someone you're not. Just shrug it off and say, you know, hey, can't win them all. Can't win them all. It might be difficult, but, you know, just say you can't win them all. And I know some people, you know, it depends what kind of person you are in the educational system among your peers and friends and all. You know, if they say anything, just remember that, you know, that the average attention span of, you know, especially with everything going on in the world of social media and smartphones. It would only be an issue, if anyone even said anything for maybe a day or two, and that's it. Everyone would forget about it and move on to the latest, whatever comes out. Some sort of YouTube thing, some sort of gaming thing, some sort of piece of music, whatever it might be. Some local drama. So don't even worry about that. But my advice is give it a shot, see what happens, and it just doesn't hurt to try. It really doesn't. Really doesn't. On to the next. We're just going through the VORW info email first, and then we'll go into the YouTube inbox. Oh, and I forgot to mention, could you say with a good expression... Yeah, sure. Hey, Jim, guess what? You're done. You're done. You're done. Thanks. No problem. It was said with good expression at that. Legos and other comments. Dear Review Bra, this is my first time emailing you, but I've been a fan for about 2 months since I stumbled upon your great value water review. I thought it was a joke, but then I watched more, and I realized that you were fairly serious, and I began to watch all your other videos, and I became enamored with them. I find your professionalism and level-headedness a great reprieve in these confusing times. I don't meet too many people with such strong convictions about how they live their life, and it's always refreshing when I do. Anyways, I was listening to the latest VORW, and I really enjoyed hearing a bit of regression of life. It is sad. It reminds me of Fyodor Dostoevsky's Notes from the Underground. It's obviously somewhat autobiographical, but I also know you are doing better than your character. Maybe it's cathartic for you to express your emotions in writing. I do the same thing with my painting. We all have moments of deep sadness and wish to, quote, regress from life, but I hope that next time you are feeling that way, remember the beauty of the world. I was reminded of it when I was listening to an old VORW radio show on SoundCloud. It was the first one I had heard, and I remember thinking, wow, this guy genuinely has a talent for radio broadcast. He has a great voice, a fairly objective take on world events, and the music is just right. There's some Wilco, Talking Heads, and my personal favorite, Skyscraper by Demi Lovato. Now, a lot of people would laugh at that statement, and I myself had never listened to her, but when that song came on, I was completely ecstatic for you and for life in general. I was on a bus traveling through the Appalachian Mountains of North Carolina, and the sun was rising, illuminating all of the fall colors, and I thought about your own personal rise from being attacked on YouTube and feeling, as we all would, angry, but then you made an incredible comeback, much like in Skyscraper. The lyrics just fit. You have created this totally professional, lovely radio show, and I could see you succeeding in the future. Have you thought about working in radio? I think you definitely have the chops to be on NPR, BBC, or any other respected network. So, to get back to the point and end the flattery, yes, I did play with Legos. Towards the end of my Lego days, I had about 50 gallons of them. I was always a fan of the medieval-themed Legos and loved building castles. And I still do when my younger relatives visit. So, that's all. It's quite a lengthy message, so don't feel obligated to bore people with it on this show, but I just wanted to express my gratitude for your work and just say, keep it up. You're very talented, and I see a bright future for the Review Bra. Sincerely, Matt. And thank you for writing, Matt. And thank you for your compliments and comments. So, I think that really is something to think about. Oftentimes when I get real down, and it happens, believe me, you have to be in those. You have to really, kind of be down to really express and understand the dark recesses of your own mind or someone else's. You've had to have at least been there before in some degree to write it, or you have to thoroughly understand it. So yes, no doubt. I've been quite, depressed. I still get down sometimes, honestly. Happens, especially around the fall and the winter. But of course, obviously, never to the extent that character in the story is. Never to that extent. So it's never to that extent, that severity, but in the end, it's something that I can kind of write, have an understanding of, and then perhaps exaggerate it in ways that makes it more severe. You know, to be able to use it to fit the environment and the life and all of that, but just need something to base it off of, you know? Thank you very much. Thank you for writing. There's a comment reply on something I was wondering. Let's go back over here to the computer, to the office here. There's a comment reply. I don't usually talk about comments on this show, but this is something applicable. The person wrote on the Mountain Dew Kickstarter review, I came across your channel on a cringe compilation. I laughed at first, so-and-so. And I wanted to know what cringe compilation this was. They linked me to it, so let's see. Let's see if this is... Let me just see how long this has been up for. You know? Let me just see how big this one is here. We've gone too deep. Weird YouTube video compilation. Okay. Let's see what video of mine got featured in that one. Let's see. October 18th. Let's see what video of mine is in there. They put the whole thing in there? Goodness me, they did. Isn't that a real feature? It's called We've Gone Too Deep, Weird YouTube Video Compilation. What video? There I am. Now they're going for some old school. So, another weekly review today. Some 2012-esque report of the week. Top of my head's cut off here, but as long as you can see my tie and... Well, 27,000 people were now enlightened with a chicken wings review. But this is from October, but at least they all get to know what the TGI Fridays wings taste like now. Alright. Thank you to the individual who linked me to that video. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Now, we shall go and we shall respond to the fan mail letters. Alright, okay. Hello, my friend. Just stopping in to say hello and see how you're doing. How's your day, friend? And how was your Thanksgiving? Hope it went well and that you stuffed yourself enough for two. Well, it's interesting to see you out doing... Interesting enough to see you out doing reviews in public again. Well, it's interesting to see you out in public doing reviews so often now. I really enjoy seeing them, and I appreciate you taking the time to go out and do it for us. I did have one question, though. Everyone has been dying to know who's holding the camera for you. I see rumors that it might be a significant other of yours. That might explain why you seem to be yourself again, but by that, I mean you don't seem sad anymore, and you're giving those hilarious one-liners. I love seeing you chipper, and it makes me happy. Also, I noticed you're starting to get into Starbucks. Does that mean you're going to start branching into coffee reviews? They do contain caffeine, after all. And if you decide to and don't want to stick with the energy crisis, maybe say something like Mean Bean Review. Of course, it's just at the top of my head and isn't an obligation for you to use, but it's just a thought. Anyway, if you go back to Starbucks, they have one or two more seasonal drinks that I find are better than the other drinks personally, which are the, quote, gingerbread and eggnog flavors. Latte if you want it hot, and frappuccino if you want it blended. Personally, I prefer it blended, but the choice is yours, my dear friend. And a side note, I prefer the gingerbread one if it is a latte, and the eggnog one if it is a frappuccino. With an extra shot of espresso, of course. Of course. Gotta get that caffeine intake up. Of course. And now to reveal a crazy but logical idea. I've been playing Fallout 4, which is a game you might have heard of by now. And as I was wandering through the wasteland listening to the Diamond City radio station in the game, they have it set up as if it were an actual radio broadcast of a DJ speaking and playing music. Thought to myself, this would be absolutely perfect for the voice of Report of the Week. it is perfect for you. I can totally hear you starting it off with, "Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Report of the Week." And you are listening to VORW, the voice of the Report of the Week. As you continue to update the Wastelanders about the events going on, as well as some Nuka-Cola reviews, followed by you playing some Frank Sinatra and similar music to fade out in the post-nuclear wasteland, which I'm almost positive you like that type of music, which only makes this role feel even better. I really believe that this to be perfect for you, and I'd love to push for it if that is okay with you. I know many will agree as well. The only bad news is that the next Fallout might not come out for another 6 years or more. It's a shame we need to wait more, but I believe it's made for you. Hope you have a great day/night and everything as well. Love the consistency of the reviews coming in. Keep it up, my friend. Your friend, Rudy. Thank you for writing, Rudy. So, to answer your message, I've been doing okay in Thanksgiving. I think if you listen to the latest VORW, the last one, the 2-hour one, you heard that it was a good and special Thanksgiving. And the public reviews are good. Public reviews. Sorry, my tongue got a little twisted there. Public reviews are good. It really does help to review something on the scene and on site. And you're able to access different types of food that normally you perhaps cannot get to all the time. As to the camera question, who is holding the camera for me? Because it is very evident at times, that there is a camera person this time around. And no, I did not, pay some stranger or some kid or something to hold the camera for me. Not to say, anything just to keep my personal life personal, but, there was someone important to me holding the camera. And, one from there on can use the power of assumption rather easily. As for Starbucks, I want to do drink reviews. I want to do drink reviews. I do. I want to do drink reviews. It's something I've been branching into more and more lately. I did first it started off with the water review. That was kind of like a joke review, but I think it was a good little almost icebreaker to kind of usher in this new series of reviews that one day we'll get a nice title for. We will. But it'll be a general thing to encompass all beverages, excluding energy drinks. Coffees would be in this type of beverage, because coffee really it's different than an energy drink, You have like the Monster coffee, and then you have regular coffee, and I think they're two different things. And I think it is something I want to expand to. It gives you a whole new variety and market of things to try. We did the Frozen Surge. We tried out that, some other thing from Burger King a while back. And now the Starbucks. I think it will usher in a new group of drinks. You can always really review good old Coca-Cola and Pepsi if you want, or new types of the beverages. But, wouldn't... Perhaps it'd be like a little sub-series for coffees, Because, a coffee is different than, say, A&W root beer. Just two very different things. So, it's a good point. And perhaps, Mean Bean. That's an interesting title you got. You never know. And thank you for the insight about the two new flavors of the Starbucks coffee. I imagine I will be making trips to Starbucks soon in order to be able to attain new products and items from them. Anyways, Fallout 4. I'm not a real video gamist. That's what I'll call it. Instead of gamer, it's like, for me, I'll call it a gamist. Gamer sounds better, I guess. But I don't play video games at all. Unless you consider, as I was kind of saying in the comments, Microsoft Solitaire, Microsoft Mahjong Titans, Microsoft Minesweeper, and Microsoft Chess Titans to be video games, and I do not play video games, and I have not for about the past 5 years. It just doesn't appeal to me, the extreme graphics, the violence, and all that. It just doesn't really appeal to me, but, I know a lot of people who listen to VORW really do game, and I always respect that. I'm not one of those people that says, video games, it's the spawn of the devil, it's corrupting everyone, it's this and that. No, I don't say that. I always respect people and their interests, and you want a video game, you want a game, be my guest. I'm not going to stop you, You can even feel free to tell me about what you do, I'll gladly lend an ear. But it's just not for me, but something I always respect. Even last night I was playing some mahjong. I must have played like 6 or 7 games. So that was some entertainment right there, some quality entertainment. But yes, I've heard plenty about Fallout 4. You know, if all another thing where they got someone like me sitting at the table there, and a couple people have mentioned, having me on like the radio there. I think it's interesting. I do. Thank you for writing. This person keeps it short and to the point. They say just, whoever the F you are, I hope you're doing well. I am doing well today, so thank you, I guess. Have you ever tried Burger King's Secret Santa Coca-Cola? From what I could read on the billboard, it's in cherry, lime, and vanilla. Let's see, Burger King's Secret Santa Coca-Cola. It's interesting. That's interesting. I haven't tried that at all. First time hearing of it, believe it or not. So there's I guess 3 flavors: Santa, reindeer, and mistletoe. Reindeer is regular Coke with vanilla. Mistletoe is Coke Zero with vanilla. Yep, you guessed it. Holiday specialty drinks from Trenchcoat. Well, thank you for writing, of course. Specialty beverages from Burger King. And there we go. I was just talking about the drink reviews, and that gives you some opportunity right there to try something. Thank you for bringing that up. Dear review, bro. Haven't written in for a while, so I don't expect you to remember me, but I've been listening to this show since the beginning, and I really enjoy all your work. I'm glad to hear you had a good Thanksgiving. Rather, one good Thanksgiving and one bad one. I hope all is well with you and your loved ones. Last night, I put on your latest VORW show, expecting to fall asleep to your buttery voice, but I was so interested in your short story and your musings that I stayed up until 5 a.m. listening to the entire episode. Needless to say, I missed my class this morning, but it was well worth it. I really hope you continue with it because I'm interested to see how it ends up, and I think you have a skill for writing. I'm glad to hear you're getting into classical music. It's a horribly underserved genre, and there's so much to learn from it even today. If you don't mind, I'd like to make a few suggestions on my favorite pieces. Beethoven's Fifth Symphony is a great place to start. You've probably heard the first movement, but the entire symphony is a masterpiece and deserves all of the hype it's received. I personally like the fourth movement. I played it in orchestra back when I played the trombone, and it really is an amazing finale. And he linked that here. My favorite classical composer is probably Bach, though I'd highly recommend Bach's Art of the Fugue, or the Fugue. I suggest doing some research on the composition first, because at the surface it may seem like a long series of similar pieces, but it's much more intricate than that. To put it simply, Bach experiments with the different, quote, voices that are connected harmonically, but not rhythmically and tonally. An understanding of music theory really helps when listening to something like this, but it's not totally important. Hope you enjoy it as much as I do. And he linked that piece as well. Thank you very much. I have more recommendations, if you'd like. I don't want a message to drag on for too long, so I'll wrap it up with an answer to your latest question. I played with Legos a bit, never owned a lot of them. My friend from elementary school, though, had a lot, and I'd play them at his house. At my home, we had with Connects, which were never as popular, but I think they allowed more creative constructions. Thanks for reading this, and keep doing what you're doing, brah. From Jason. Thank you, Jason. And, of course, feel free to link me to more classical pieces if you want to. I'll gladly take them, I gladly will, so... help yourself if you have any more recommendations you want to share. I actually did listen to your 2 pieces. I thought they were very nice. Last night I was listening to some Radio Austria International. They usually play classical music from 1:30 to 2 a.m. on 6155 kilohertz. Heard mostly in Europe and the Middle East, but it makes it over to North America too with good signals, so I was able to listen and enjoy the broadcast. And They weren't playing classical. They're playing some jazz music, which is another good genre. And some Frank Sinatra. I think they played 2 or 3 of his songs, and they had some interview with, I don't know, maybe an expert on him or something. But, still, the music was good nonetheless. On to the next. And Kinects, I've never really played with those. Only Legos. Reply to VORW number 106. Hello. Thought I'd try sending you a message on a whim. In response to your weekly question, yes, I did play with Legos. I, in fact, love Legos. I have a large plastic container of them beside me. I didn't toy with them as much as I did when I was younger, but I refuse to toss them. I ordered some recently. Unfortunately, building the sets is somewhat trivial and doesn't pose the same fun experience as it used to. That might seem a bit odd to those who haven't had Legos, but the larger sets could be quite an undertaking for a kid. I recall one particularly harrowing Christmas, which I spent my whole day building a large Star Wars set. It was a Clone Wars era battleship, and sadly it is in ruins now. Yeah, I completely agree. The Legos, of course, I mostly like the little minifigures. Sometimes I'll still break those out. And it could really be, be an opportunity for creativity. And, I can understand how the sets just don't become what they used to be. Like back in the day, my most impressive creation was years back, I think 07 or 08 it was, where it was a full-blown Lego Star Wars Imperial Star Destroyer. And it was this massive ship. And it was so big you had to hold it with 2 hands. You had to kind of cradle it in your arms like it was a little baby made of Legos. And, I took some time writing or constructing it. I did. It took some time. It took me a series of days. I'd dedicate, a couple hours every day to build it. And eventually it was completed, and there it was. And there it sits, still in the basement. Alas, due to the fact, perhaps, that it is older at this point. Some of the Legos have become almost weaker in terms of structure and the structural integrity of it. So, I was trying to check something out with the ship, and I was trying to look at the bridge of it. We could put a little minifigure behind the control panel there. And don't you think half the whole top fell off? So, but that's just what happens, I guess, when the Legos become older and they're not, I guess, I don't know if the connection between them weakens or whatever it might be, but given the fact they're kind of sitting in the same, kind of stuck together like that for 7-8 years, I can see that can be an issue. Nevertheless, the remainder of the ship is still intact. But you figure, without a bridge, what good is a Star Destroyer? Can't really pilot it anywhere. You need to have the controls. You can have, engines are still there. But, the shields are gone and the controls are there. So I guess you can just can't really do anything with it. The bridge, that controls everything. And now it's gone. So I guess it's kind of just derelict. If it were to be a real Star Destroyer. If it's a Lego Star Destroyer, it's still derelict, and it's parked on the table in the basement. The next is a small section on your piece of writing. Oh, no worries. I'll read it, and I actually respond to it. Because I do, if you will, have an excuse for it. If this is long-running, then just don't read. No, it's fine. If you're open to criticism, read on, though. The flow, for the most part, of what you read was a bit clunky. Things were restated that didn't have to be several times. Perhaps this was intentional, though. The words you used were simple, which isn't inherently bad, but when they are reused as frequently as they were, can become a slog. It was interesting to hear, though, and you should finish it. I write a bit myself. or at least try to. Writing fiction stories is something I've wanted to do with my life, mostly fantasy things, sword and sorcery type things. Are you a fan of that genre? Either way, thank you for reading, and thank you for being the voice of the Report of the Week. My apologies for dragging on so much. Not at all, not at all. Now, the reason with the language in this story is because of the perspective that it is supposed to have. This is literally in the mind of that person. If it were more of a real descriptive story from a, almost like a third-person narrator or, third-person omniscient, the vocabulary would be far more advanced. But rather, this is mostly a stream of consciousness type of writing. So that's why the flow is what it is, for the most part. It's just coming out of this guy who's not a experienced writer, doesn't think he's experienced, if anything, and he just hates the world, he hates himself, and, he just doesn't like where he is right now. He just kind of wants to die. And with that being said, he doesn't really have all these, he's not really thinking how to describe this and how to restate that. This is just a stream of consciousness. It's kind of looking into what's going on in this person's mind, who's just living in this utterly deplorable condition and is doing real bad, As a matter of fact, in terms of description and stating and restating things and language used, I actually am writing another story at the same time. This is more of a, it's a short story. It's not going to be as long as Regression of Life, which is probably going to be around 30 pages, 40 pages in total. This story, however, is called The Walk, and it is a more of a mystery-type horror story. And it's about someone who goes on a late-night walk and something happens. And that's all I'll say about that. But that story is written from a more advanced perspective with, to say it, bigger words in it. And maybe one day I'll read a little segment of that on the air, too. So, that's what we got. Thank you for your criticism. Always welcome to that. Always. Always, always. Because criticism can lead to improvement. So thank you. Thank you for being honest. Moving on. Okay. Hello, Buttercup. I am sure you remember me. I wrote you some messages a little less than a year ago, and maybe more. I don't remember. I do. I remember that. I took a long hiatus from your VORWs, and now I'm finally listening to all the ones I missed. It is finals week, and your VORWs helped me get through the mental SF fest. That is the S word and then the F word combined into one. That is studying for finals. How have you been lately? Last I mailed you didn't have your shortwave show. You were so young and youthful, and now you are fully grown, Buttercup and Daisy. How was your day? Heard you visited R9K. I assume that was terrible. Any hoodles. I hope all is well. I'm glad to see that your channel's reviews are more diverse. My GF and I still watch your videos time to time and purchase things that you review. Hope your kidneys and livers prosper, and please give a big shout out to my friend Vigilance. He needs more review bra in his life. Well, Vigilance, you hope you have more Report of the Week and review bra in your life, and you have been officially and formally shouted out right here on VORW, the voice of the Report of the Week. Okay. So, I'm doing good. Doing good. Interesting that you were here, took a long hiatus and you checked in, and you must have seen some changes in the channel. Hope it didn't disgust you. Always, if you ever see anything that you want to see changed or think should be, thoughts are welcome. Thank you for writing, and I do remember you. I do indeed. I do remember you from a year ago. And the liver and kidneys are hopefully prospering indeed, and I hope yours are too. Greetings, Review Bra. I can't exactly remember how I found your channel, but I have been a fan for roughly 2 years. In this time, I converted my wife into a fan, and now listening to VORW shows while getting ready for bed is our daily routine. I really enjoy the Night Walk segment, and I hope to hear more. And Becca, my wife, enjoys your discussion of fashion and the fan mail portion. We recently re-listened to your show discussing your trip to Hawaii, as we'll be vacationing there this holiday season. We are staying on Oahu Island in Honolulu. Do you have any recommendations on sites or attractions? We're looking forward to hitting up Margaritaville, as they don't have any here in Toronto. Yes, Margaritaville. That is that was a real place right there. I was there, of course, in Hawaii to the Margaritaville, and there was some good food there and such. And if you want to have a few drinks too, it's an adequate place for that. So as for the Hawaiian vacation, it was just very, very interesting all in all. A lot of good places there. Really, there's a lot of stuff to do on every island. Memories tend to fade after a little while, but let me just see right now. I'm going to give it a last-ditch effort, and if it's not there, it's not there, and we're dropping it. But if it is, and if I'll see if it is. Who knows, but I don't think it doesn't look promising right now. I was looking to see if there's a flash drive laying around here that had some of the pictures of it. No, not there. Okay, fine. A lot of the names tend to escape me now, but some of the things to do in Hawaii, of course, on Oahu, around the Honolulu area, of course, is to visit, Pearl Harbor, kind of visit the memorial there. Depending on the type of person you are, just enjoy the Hawaiian beaches, enjoy the Pacific Ocean. I mean, from the hotel we were in, just being able to look over those beaches, it's like something you see, on a screensaver, in a desktop wallpaper, one of those beautiful scenic pictures of the tropical beach, and never thought you'd actually be looking at it. But I'm not a swimmer, I'm not into going out there and enjoying it, but if you are, just go for it, go all out, and just, enjoy Hawaii, enjoy the beach, enjoy the water, go to a good luau, that's all I have to say there. I know in Oahu, it was on the northern part of the island. There's this one place that had, Oahu's, I guess, and had a luau, had luau's, and something about it, just the authenticity factor of it was just very impressive. I had a whole show and everything. It's very nice. I'd recommend that one if you wanted. I forget the name, but if you listen to the whole Hawaii VORW, maybe I'll talk about it more in depth then, when it's fresher in my mind. Rather than just seeing, some $5 show that some guys working at the hotel do. The other islands themselves, too, are very, very nice. Lots to see there. A lot of beautiful scenic areas in the islands. One thing, though, if you do go to Maui, never take the road to Hana. Just don't. Just don't. It was so bad it compelled me to write a short story about it. And, it's awful, It looks scenic at first, but just does not end. And given the fact that this road to Hana, it's like O-H-A-N-A or something. It's on Maui. Just don't do it. That's all I can advise you. If you're doing island hopping and you go to that island, just don't. Whatever you do, don't do it. It's going to be a miserable experience, and it's just going to ruin the whole day. Because it's supposed to be the scenic road. It goes from point A to point B. It goes from the main area to this really goes kind of through the wilderness, if you will. And yeah, sounds good, right? Oh, it's going to be a nice, beautiful scenic drive in Hawaii. Well, and you may perhaps be wondering what exactly is so awful about this road to Hana. Well, it has nearly almost several thousand turns in it in a very, very short span of space. And it makes you feel sick to your stomach and you want to vomit. And unfortunately, if you go one way, you gotta go back that same way. So you feel awful going down it the first time, you feel even worse going back, and it just makes your stomach upset and it makes you feel horrible for the remainder of the day. So that's one thing you got to avoid. But there's a lot of beautiful scenic places in Hawaii at every turn. You won't even, when you're there, you won't even believe it. You see what you're seeing. Honestly, everything looks so beautiful you can't even believe that you're there. I look at these pictures and just a standard, landscape shot of nothing special, just some mountain or some hill or some lake, and it looks so pristine, so scenic. Then you just have to stop and you have to say, my God, I was there and I didn't even gawk at that? And you say no, because everything looked like that. So, just gonna be mesmerized. It really is a beautiful place, Hawaii, and I do hope you enjoy your trip there. The writer does continue with, says, yes, I played with Legos when I was a kid. I didn't have any fancy sets, just a big old container of random bits and pieces. Also, in the last episode, you brought up audience participation. I know you're not broadcasting on shortwave anymore, but I thought it would be a fun idea to have people submit reception reports of the YouTube broadcast via email. If it's financially feasible, you can send that report of the week QSL cards. It's just a thought. Anyways, thanks for all the great content, and hope you have a great holiday season. All the best from Dave. Well, thank you, Dave, and all the best to you as well. Sub Prep Week. To answer your recent VORW question, Legos were very prevalent in my household when I was a child, along with Lincoln Logs and Kinects. Construction toys are always great fun. As a question for you, what is your opinion on the holiday season? Are you very festive? Is it all just a commercialism ploy in the modern US of A? Personally, I love it. Xmas music is always fantastic, and lasting only a month, it manages to never bore, unlike a lot of other genres. Thanks for the reading. Keep up the good stuff. Thank you. Love it or hate it, one simply cannot deny the fact that the holiday season in the U.S. is a time of fervent commercialism. I mean, look at the Black Friday sales. It's the beginning of the holiday season, but I mean, every mall nowadays at this time is going to be full of people trying to get their Christmas gifts and holiday gifts and gifts in general for themselves or for who knows what. So, it is a very commercial holiday. There's no doubt about that. There's no denying that. It's a real commercial holiday. Regardless, however, I like it. It's a time when everyone's happy, I myself don't really get into the Christmas spirit, though. Have no decorations, no lights or anything, just the Christmas tree. And, that's it. Oh, so review, bro. What are you getting for Christmas, man? Me? Nothing really, Just the fact of the matter. Didn't ask for anything. Not gonna get anything. No biggie at all. Gonna be satisfied with this Christmas, I'll tell you that. So, no problem there. But, I'm sure you guys will get a review or two for Christmas and the holiday season as well. But, that's that. That could be, I guess, more festive, but, I do like it. Everyone's in a good mood. Christmas music is interesting. It is. It's an interesting genre, that's for sure. You thought it would surely be, long gone by now. It's, it's music from the 40s for the most part. You look at the majority of Christmas songs, and it's in that same style as many singers from the 40s had, the big band, and I'm not talking about the modernized ones, I'm talking about the originals, because they were from that era, and still popular once a year. It's some funny stuff, and no one realizes that. It's just Christmas music, but that's how I see it. What do you think of Donald Trump out of 10? I'm not going to give an answer on that one, but according to Mr. Trump, he's going to make America great again. On to the next. What YouTube channels or YouTube videos in general do you tend to watch currently, and what do you think of Robert Dyer's reviews? Robert Dyer is a man of politics. He is. He really does have a good grip on what's going on in local politics where he is. I will say that. As for YouTube videos, what do I watch now? Just music, that's it. I don't watch any other YouTube videos. I don't follow YouTubers. I don't do any of that. But I was, I was just listening to some good YouTube music, I guess. That's all I was doing. Listening to an instrumental. Thought it was actually pretty good. It was the instrumental to the tune Missing by Flyleaf. That was actually pretty solid guitar work there. What else was I listening to? Listening to some Pogues. Some Louis Armstrong. Let's see, what else did we listen to here? Some Faith Hill. Some Toby Mac. What else we got here on the playlist here? What else we got? Some Weezer. James Blunt. Avicii. Some Sean Cassidy. That's it. That's all I really watch on YouTube. Just music, just to listen to the music. A poor man's way of doing so, yes, but nonetheless, that's all I do. The Buggles. Video Killed the Radio Star. And so on. Could do this all day. A big variety, though. Very eclectic. It's like the music that you see on the VORW show, where it's just every genre kind of mishmashed together. And there you have it. On to the next and final message in the YouTube inbox. Then we go to repweekinterview1@gmail.com. Then we close things up for the show. Hello to you, sir. I noticed that you have changed your profile picture, and I like this one. Fits the channel like a glove. I like the other one, don't get me wrong on that. To me, it didn't belong. Guess I have gotten used to you sitting and standing. Yes, that does make good sense. I do have a suggestion for you. I don't think you have Instagram. No, I don't. I don't have any social media. But I do know you have a Google+. Now, I was thinking that you could post the fan art that you get and posting them there for others to look at from time to time. There's some great fan art, and I think they should be shared with other than the VORW shows. Maybe some feedback from listeners about this idea, I think it would be great. Yeah. So anyone listening, if you think that sounds like a good idea, let me know. To utilize the Google Plus feature to share some fan art that I receive, some of the good pieces or pieces that anyone wants to save and get a nice copy of. In the Energy Crisis 137 V8 V Fusion, I just totally admire that pinstripe double-breasted suit. I instantly went back to the 40s just because it had a 40s pizzazz. A fedora would have went exceptionally well with that suit. If I'm right, you have your suits tailored, and the tailor did a fantastic, awesome job on that suit. Fits you perfectly. If it wasn't, then that suit had your name on it. Out of all the double-breasted suits you have, that one is my favorite. To answer the question on VORW 106, Lego. Played with them as a child and built houses, planes, and cars. They're not like what they are today. They're just basic. I have seen some of the sets out now, and have been tempted to get one and build whatever was on the box. There is some that I do want, but don't have a place to display them. Mainly the Star Wars Lego. It may be an adult, but still a kid at heart. I have noticed that the fast food restaurants seem to be going downhill in quality of their food. Nothing seems to taste like it once did. For example, McDonald's Big Macs. The meat doesn't even taste like beef. It's like I'm eating salt and peppered grease byproduct of something that's supposed to be beef. Thank you for the silly reply about the napkins. I laughed so hard for 5 minutes that it brought tears to my eyes. The tears of happiness soon turned to tears of sorrow. My cat of 18 years had passed away. I apologize for that. I'm sorry for the loss of a beloved pet there. I truly loved your story that you were working on and read on the last VORW. You had hit the nail on the head of how I feel at times. I think the world would be better if I just disappeared and lived secluded in my trailer. At times I feel alone, even when others are around. Other times I think to myself, well, why am I here? And do I really make a difference in someone's life? Would I even be missed if I just disappeared? And that's one demon that I fight with almost on a daily basis. That's about all at this time. I have no questions to ask. Hope it finds you good spirits. Friends forever from Trenchcoat. Well, thank you for writing again with the regular message. I'm sorry about your cat. I am. It's that's sad, honestly. I know, especially especially cats and dogs can really be beloved pets, and they can be your best friend, really. Especially if you're going through really hard times, you don't have anyone else. You can say, well, at least the cat or the dog is there with me. So I'm sorry for that. I am. As for everything else, thank you for your compliments on the suit. It is a nice suit. That gray pinstripe one. I like it too. I do. I think it's a fine suit as well. And I'm glad you enjoyed the story and were able to connect to it and relate to it. And I'm going to keep writing it and keep working on it. Hang in there, stay strong, and we will make it. We will. On to the final email address, webweekinterview1@gmail.com. Let's see what we have here. Dear VORW, relatively new listener here. I'd say it's been roughly 6 months now since some friends introduced me to your channel, and I've been hooked ever since. To answer your question, I used to play with Legos as a young child, as I'm told I started from a very early age. From memory, I don't believe that I ever made anything spectacular or big, but alas, it is still a big part of my toy collection. Guess you could say, growing up. I have 2 questions, and forgive me if they have been answered in previous shows, as I've only just begun listening to VORW myself, and this is my first time writing. Firstly, do you play any video games regularly? I am aware that you used to play RuneScape, but do not anymore. I was curious if you actually play any others, or have grown out of games completely. Yeah, I've grown out of games completely. The only video games that I play are, again, Solitaire, Minesweeper, Mahjong, and chess. And those are those games you see that are built into every Microsoft computer. Go to the start menu under games and you'll see it. They'll be there. You could play them and you could say, wow, Review Bra plays this. And you can do that if your heart desires. Secondly, do you follow any major sport leagues or have a favorite sport in general? And if so, what is your favorite team? I myself am writing from Australia, but I'm a strong follower of the NBA, being a Celtics fan myself. Love your work. Please continue to create more quality content for me and many others to enjoy. Your channel and content is very unique relative to the rest of YouTube, especially other food review channels, and I love it. Thanks again. Best regards from Campbell. Thank you. I'm not a real sports fan. I'm not. But if there's 2 sports I'd have to say that I might show mild interest in from time to time, it is NASCAR racing, and baseball. That's from time to time. Perhaps I will. Every now and then. Just closing the curtains here, Phil. Don't want people looking in. Oh, but, as I said, the only sports that I might show some sort of interest in is NASCAR racing, which I used to be a big fan of Johnson and Jeff Gordon, who, he's out of there now, and that team. And baseball, of course, a Yankees fan, but even then, it's not like it's, I'm gonna die if I don't watch a race or don't watch this baseball game. Not like that. I'm not. Greeting, Review Bra. I indeed am an adult fan of Lego. As a child, I was really into what is now referred to as classic space Lego. Coming back to it as an adult, I decided to build models from Mad Max. These models came out well, and I have opened opportunities to show them at various Lego exhibits. People can check them out at LegoWarBoys.com. Now let's look at this website here that he linked us. There we go. That's pretty cool. These are professional models right here. Takes some talent to do, I'll tell you that. Some real Mad Max models like that. Even you have those crazy trucks and those cars and everything. It's fun. It's fun what you can build out of Legos, really is. The website the individual provided is LegoWarBoys.com. It's safe to use. I was the guinea pig. Nothing done to my computer. It's harmless. LegoWarBoys.com, LegoWarBoys.com, and has pictures of his Mad Max-inspired creations, which are very well done, should I say. As I typed here, you continued on to discuss classical music. Two favorite composers I would recommend are Tchaikovsky and Stravinsky. Worth your time. As always, my best to you from Robert. Well, thank you. Thank you for writing, and good work on the Lego creations, should I say? Nope, it's spam. Wallet. Dear review, bruh. I admit that I have not long been a follower of your series, but I immediately sensed a practicality in your lectures that is refreshing in juxtaposition with our overstimulating modern world. Last week in Bangkok, my wallet escaped from my person. I lost my credit card, but did not lose a substantial amount of the local currency, only perhaps equal in value to your monthly stipend from Patreon, to which I will contribute shortly once I have a new card. But I did lose a nice, slim, black leather Calvin Klein wallet. I'm now in the market for a new wallet, and I would appreciate your thoughts on what to look for. What kind of wallet do you use, and why have you chosen this particular wallet for use? I don't really use anything special in terms of wallets and the like. I don't use a real fancy one. I'm just into the bare basics, It depends on what you do, really. It depends on what you do, who's going to be seeing your wallet, and how often you're going to be using it. If you're really paranoid, just get a wallet on a chain. I know people don't really do that anymore. There's some you shouldn't say that. Some Japanese, emo-looking teen on the bus the other day I was riding, and it looked like he stepped right out of 2005. Had the whole almost like punk emo bangs and the black jeans and everything, and I had a wallet on a chain still. I guess some people still use those, but I guess they don't see them too often anymore. If you're really paranoid, just do that. But I just use a real dirt cheap black wallet. Something that I seldom take out, something that's seldom used, something that no one really sees. I just try to logically spend any sort of money on different, finances and applications and everything. If I think, why should I blow so much money on this wallet that no one's even going to see? It's not even going to really be put into any sort of use. It would just be a waste of money. But just have to judge on different factors. Just have to say, well, okay, what do I want? Do I want security? Do I want to show it off? Do I want one that's just going to hold a ton of stuff? Do I want, a nice black leather wallet again? Or do I want just some cheap dollar store little satchel wallet? And just base it off of those factors. And eventually you'll kind of make your way through all the muck in the wallet market. And you'll find a good one in due time. You will. I trust in you. Dear Report of the Week, I'm an avid follower of your channel, as my fiancé loves your reviews and VORWs and introduced me to your videos. I was listening to VORW number 106 and heard you ask for classical music recommendations. I noticed that the picture during that part of the VORW was a winter scene, and it reminded me of a classical piece called In the Bleak Midwinter, which I am playing with my community band for our holiday concert. I enjoy the piece very much and hope you will like it too. Keep up the reviews. Well, thank you very much. In the Bleak Midwinter, Gustav Holst. Arranged by Robert W. Smith. Thank you for the recommendation, and honestly, I'm actually pleasantly surprised by the amount of classical listeners who are writing in, and that's kind of nice to see it. It's not totally totally dead. That there's still people out there who do listen to that fine classical music. That's nice to see. It's refreshing, in my opinion. Not to bash every other genre of music, but it's just refreshing to see. It really is. So I'll definitely give that a look. And no winter anywhere in sight over here. Yeah, no winter anywhere in sight over here. Thank you for the recommendation. Thank you very much. Dear Report of the Week, I come to you with a humble suggestion. I don't mean to be critical, but your plainly titled series Drink Review does not meet the standard of clever names you've established for fronting an empty and energy crisis. I'm suggesting the name Last Straw Drink Review for your soft drink, water, and coffee reviews going forward. I think the name fits nicely with the theme you have already established. I hope you appreciate the suggestion. Keep up the great work regardless. Thank you very much. We now have a little pool of names we can use, and I imagine by the time the next drink review comes up, we'll pick something out. Thank you for the suggestion. And let me just see if this is not just spam. It's spam. There's some scam network. They think that putting the picture of putting the picture as a female, for their... So it's one of those scam networks that they'll just try to take your money. Not even a reputable one. They'll just lock you into a contract and screw you over. But I just find it rather amusing. They put a picture of like a female in their avatars, if that's gonna, help attract more people to their business. It will. I mean, it will, but not me. I don't sign up to those networks for YouTube. It's just, if you find a good one, great. But most of them are awful, I've heard. And even borderline or totally scamming. And finally, hope you're well. Kudos on the excellent story. Look forward to hearing more of it. Reminds me of a book that I would read over and over again in middle school. It's a book narrated by a high school-aged girl who lived with her hoarding mother. Basically narrates the girl's feelings of shame and disgust for living in such deplorable conditions, and when her mother dies tragically in the house, the girl works for days to frantically clean the house before her mother's body starts to decay and attracts the attention of neighbors. I find your story to be fascinating in a similar way because of how you delve into the consciousness of a person that most people would never think to place themselves in. It is an extremely dark subject, but it makes me sympathize with these kind of people more because I can relate to the feeling of never wanting to leave my house because of how cruel people are. Your work is very creative, and I think discovering a fascinating narrative that no one else has done before is a sign of a great writer. I really hope you upload it, because I was hooked on every word. In regards to your question about Legos, my only memorable experience with them was when I built the Krusty Krab restaurant from a set that my little brother needed help with. It took me a pretty long time to build, and after, I was pretty proud of it, so I displayed it on my kitchen counter. A few hours later, I came into the kitchen to learn that my dad had picked up the Krusty Krab in order to, quote, move it to a safer place, only to drop it onto the floor, thus reverting it back to its original state of hundreds of loose Lego pieces. After that incident, I gave up hope. I gave up any hope of Lego builder stardom. Yeah, that reminds me, I used to build Legos all the time back in the day. And I've had my share of disasters. There's one time, I used to be really creative with those Legos, I do tell you. I used to be quite creative with them all. And there was one instance upon which I would just build Lego vehicles. And they weren't any sort of book design. I would just get 4 wheels and a frame and start building my own little fleet of trucks. And they'd be almost like little military trucks. I'd get all the little Lego police officers and stormtroopers on, and it'd be like my little Lego army. I'd let my mind run wild with those Legos back in the day. And I had this whole fleet of trucks that I would make, and I'd drive them around the house, and they would, do all this stuff. And I remember there was one time I accidentally had this big truck. It was like a Lego 18-wheeler almost. It was on the kitchen counter. And good old me, I was driving it around, and I wasn't looking, and boom, it went right on the floor. Smashed all over the place, and it was unsalvageable. So I think we've all been there if we've really used Legos thoroughly. They break, that's the one thing. They shatter. They do. They are not the sturdiest of things, I'll tell you that. Unless you super glue them all together. Random question. Do you wear cologne? You talk about what kind of suits you like and such a lot, but in many hours of VORW I've listened to, I don't recall you ever mentioning a fragrance you like to wear. I'm a collector of perfume and cologne, so I'm always curious about what other people like to use, so I can try it out if I haven't already. I know everyone says this, but keep up the good work. Your show is awesome in a lot of ways. Thank you very much. That concludes our fan mail segment. We'll get to that later. But no, I don't really wear too much cologne. I don't, and of course, deodorant is mandatory. But there's where is it? It's gone. Guess it knew I was going to be mentioning it, so it got out of there. Oh, here it is. One thing that I sometimes spray on is something by Calvin Klein. Calvin Klein. Got this a while ago, but I'll still spray it here and there. Not the strongest fragrance in the world, but sometimes I'll spray it every now and then. It's called, nothing special, just by Calvin Klein, their Eternity series, I guess. It's called Summer. And it's nice. It is nice. But that's about it, I'm not really too extravagant with the colognes or scents and such. And what I was kind of getting at, I checked the spam folder. These people, they're really creative, I'll tell you that. It says, did you read my last email? So that makes me think, my God, what if, I looked at this now, and all its title is, did you read my last email? So that makes me think to myself, oh my gosh, this must be some, poor soul who I missed over in the last VORW show, and here I am. It's in the spam folder, and I'm reading theirs very last. That's not polite to do. Then I click on it, and it's from some video site that they want me to sign up on. And, boy, they're getting creative all right, I'll tell you that. Made me think I missed someone, and instead it's just some spam marketing message. Such is life. Oh well. Oh well. Alright. That's all we got for you. This is VORW, the voice of the Puerto Rico. Anyone who's listened this far, I want your opinion on something also. A lot of people liked the regression of life, how I gave a little preview of that. And I'm going to work on it a lot more, and then maybe, when I'm done with it in full, I'll publish it online, I imagine, somehow. I'll get it out, because people have expressed interest. A good amount of people have. I wrote another story. I'm in the process of writing another story called The Walk. And as I said earlier in the show, it's about someone who takes a late-night walk and something happens, and it's more in the genre of, I guess horror. Not really, not to be too scary, but it's just supposed to, something happens in it, and I don't want to make it, like a stupid, jump scare story, but just something happens while this person is taking a night walk late at night that really shouldn't happen. It should never ever happen under any normal circumstance. So that's what that story's about. And if you want, it's not as long as the other one. I began writing it in early 2015, but I dropped it when I began writing Regression of Life, but I have it now. Again, I lost the manuscript, but now I have it again. So if you want me to read a little bit, not as long, so it'll only be a few paragraphs I'll be reading for you this time if you want. If you want to hear a preview of it, express your thoughts, if I should do so or not, and let me know. That's all we got for you. This is VORW, the voice of the Puerto Rico. Remember, your letters and messages are so greatly appreciated. They make this show exactly what it is, and that's a very special show. And it gives it its uniqueness, and just how this show is. It's this way really because of your writings. It allows for so many tangents that I'd never think of, and discussion that I'd never think to conduct, and all of that, and so much more. So remember, please write in. YouTube.com/The Report of the Week. Go to the About tab, click on Send Message, and send your message of all its contents. or simply email me, repweekinterview1@gmail.com. That's repweekinterviewer, the number 1, no spaces anywhere, at gmail.com, or vorwinfo@gmail.com. That's vorwinfo@gmail.com. Please send me a message if you'd like. Your questions, comments, support, criticism, general statements, organized or otherwise, any writings, musings, music suggestions, classical suggestions, opinions, answers to questions, and anything in between. Greatly appreciated. And always welcome. Do remember that the question for this program is, do you have a Christmas tree set up right now? And that's it. And if you want to talk about yours, why you have one, why you don't, if there's a tradition surrounding it, how you have it decorated, feel free to elaborate if you'd like to. Thank you very much for listening. This is VORW, the voice of the Report of the Week. We're getting this up this evening. And until next time, have an excellent week. We'll see you around. Ladies and gentlemen, take care. This is the Report of the Week, and that is all. Goodbye. This is the voice of the Report of the Week, signing off.